6, I think it is,
Okay.
of the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. I'm Sean.
I'm Ian, and this is the only podcast that says...
I just can't call Dad in the afterlife and be like, Dad, could you stop playing tennis with Hitler for a moment and take a quick call?
Nice.
Yeah. That was from season 1 of the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah.
So, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah?
Went and saw Thor today.
Did you? Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts? Well, that's not bearing well at all.
It was good. I mean, it was a good movie visually.
Yeah.
Fight scenes were incredible.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
But it's still continue on this Thor path that I'm not into, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind corniness, but
yeah,
it's almost gotten to a point of too far for me. So
yeah, that's a shame.
it's almost like a movie made for kids. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
It's weird. It's very strange. But there's a lot of it that I liked, and there was a lot of it I disliked. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's funny, like you and I, and a few of us, like our good friend Otter, like we prefer the more serious Thor.
Yeah.
Like the Thor we saw up until Thor, or not Thor, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Like that style of Thor, and then he kind of, Taiki Watala took, did Ragnarok, and everybody kind of like, oh, this is great, Thor's funny, and Helmsworth delivers with that shit. He does a good job with it.
I'm not saying he doesn't deliver.
But it's just, this version of Thor isn't the Thor like I read in the comics. It's not the version of Thor that, he started off as. I understand the character has evolved, but this evolution isn't that great of an evolution.
Yeah. That's how I felt.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've had misgivings about it.
I like Christian Bale.
Yeah.
It was good. The story was good. Like, the root story was really good.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And Valkyrie was in it. I mean, like, all the pieces were there.
Yeah.
And Natalie Portman was incredible. I was telling you.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was most worried about, and that's one of the best parts of the movie.
Right.
And that storyline's good.
Yeah.
Really good.
Right.
Like, there's really good story there. Like, the roots of it are, like, really well done.
Right.
Well written.
Yeah.
It's just all the comedy stuff is just kind of like, God.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Sort of like what you see in the trailers all the way through.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like someone just needed to say stop. You know what I mean? Like, funny, good. Moving forward, funny, good. Moving forward. It just kept... It was like one-liners after one.
I thought the Russo brothers balanced that out well in Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah.
Like, I thought they balanced out... Like, I mean, in Infinity War, I mean, he has that moment where he's talking to Rocket in the pod about, he's never lost.
Yeah.
And, that whole, like, I'll avenge Loki and Asgard. And, like, all that stuff he's going through, and Rocket's kind of like, I don't know if this guy's... I mean, but it's really well done. And he's very serious in that moment.
Well, it's kind of like the chains were unleashed in this movie.
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know what I mean?
But it's like the Russo brothers found a way to balance that humor, because there is the humor, like with the Guardians at first, where he's like, well, clearly you're the captain, and talking to Rocket and everything, like all this stuff that kind of happens. They balance the humor even in Endgame with Fat Thor.
Yeah.
They find a way to balance the humor aspect of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is a seriousness to the character that has to be there. and they did a good job of balancing it. I don't think Takeshi Watala does.
Right.
Like, he's a fantastic writer. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, What We Do in the Shadows, Jojo Rabbit, all the stuff that he does, I haven't watched it yet, but I've heard nothing but good things about, the Pirate Show on HBO Max.
Yeah.
There's all these stuff that he does that's fantastic. But the comedy works in those areas. Here, he's still being him. There's nobody to rein him in, I guess.
Right.
Like, and Kevin Feige's like, I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And if Kevin Feige's fine with it, then it's gonna fly.
Right.
And so I feel like it goes back to like that story of like when they were doing the first Guardians movie. James Gunn did a screening for Joss Whedon and Kevin Feige, and at the end of it, Joss Whedon was like, "I just expected it to be more James Gunn." Mm-hmm. So James Gunn, who like in Suicide Squad, I felt like they let him do what he wanted.
Yeah, yeah.
That felt very James Gunn.
Right.
In Guardians, it felt like they reined him in, but they're not reining into the Watala for whatever reason.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just so many really great moments, and there's just kind of like it's too much comedy. Like it was just
right,
too much. I don't know. I couldn't really understand it. I mean, I understand the movie. Like, the storyline's there. I mean, the root of that storyline is just so good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it is. Wait till you see it, because you're going to look at the root of this story, Sean, and you're going to be like, wow, this is some good writing here.
Yeah.
You right?
Something's wrong. Oh, no, it picked it all up. Okay. Yeah. He's acting, Audacity's acting weird.
Yeah.
But it seems to picked up everything, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. Like, I mean...
And you should probably see it in the theater.
Yeah.
I mean, just because of the effects. Just because of the fight scenes alone.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. I wouldn't see it in IMAX, anything like that, but I would see it in the theater.
Right. Maybe next weekend.
Yeah, I mean, it's... I don't know. I'm still...
There are aspects of it you liked, there's a lot you didn't, and probably the bad's outweighing the good, it sounds like.
Right. But, like, in Ragnarok, it was just a bunch of wasted characters.
Yeah.
I mean, they killed the whole crew, killed all of Asgard.
Yeah.
There was no war. It could have been a Helm's Deep type of war, and it just never happened. And so it was...
Killed the villain, killed Bill Butcher.
Yeah. It was just kind of like...
They killed everybody, yeah.
Yeah, and it was just kind of like a big letdown, in a sense. In a way, the movie almost felt like it was just a bridge to...
Yeah.
What he was going through, but it was just kind of like... It was just... The comedy just got to be too much. And there was one part where I wasn't going to walk out or anything, but there was one part where I was like, this is fucking the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And it lasted for about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I was like, this is awful. And I was like, and this is disrespectful.
Yeah.
Like, to the comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like, wasn't going to walk out, but I was like, oh, just get through this scene.
Yeah. Mm.
But the scene ended well.
Right.
The end of it was good. But all the other, it wasn't.
Yeah.
It was not good. Anyway. So yeah, did that. Saw that.
Okay.
And Strange New Worlds, whew, what a show.
Oh.
What an episode. Damn. Man, was that good.
That was excellent.
And it also kind of like put Star Trek the movies off to the side. In a sense.
Well, no. Here's what it did. And I don't know if you caught this. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't have if it hadn't been for the internet. Maybe I would have because I kind of recognized it a little bit, and then I was like, oh, this is what the internet was talking about. This was a remixed version of an original series episode called Balance of Terror. Okay. And in that episode, obviously, Kirk's the captain of the Enterprise. So what Pike is trying to show himself is if you write this letter, if you write these letters and nobody, and this incident doesn't happen and you don't meet your destiny, you're in the chair and Kirk isn't.
Yeah.
And your decisions are different from Kirk's. And because of your decisions, here's what happens, which leads to basically the death of Spock, who later on, in the next generation, becomes the emissary to Romulus.
Yeah.
You know, like, they played a very long game in that episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was like this very interesting thing of, like, the decisions that you're going to make today are going to affect us 100 years in the future.
Yeah.
Because of what's going to happen
in
this incident. And it's like very, like, I went back, like, after figuring this all out, I went back and I watched that episode of Star Trek.
Okay.
Because I was like, I kind of remember this, but I don't. And it was like the original series, like, their submarine episode.
Okay.
Like, you know, because, like, it was like, you know, the Romulans are cloaked. They're tracking them, like everything like they were doing in this episode. But there's no Farragut. You know, Kirk's in the chair. You know, and it was a very interesting, like, okay, so because of what Kirk does, war is averted.
Yeah. Because he fires him out of the sky or whatever.
Well,
what does he do in the series? Because I don't remember the episode.
Well, he gets them to a point where the ship's distressed.
Yeah.
Like he figures it out and he fires at them and he hits them. Like he's playing like fucking Battleship. Like, you know, they're firing off phasers like here, there, everywhere, like to like hopefully get a random hit, and they do a few times.
Yeah.
And at the end of it, like that same speech the Romulan gives Pike before he gets blown out of the sky, the Romulan gives Kirk, but it's completely different context.
Yeah.
You know, like it's very interesting. So like it was like, and you know they end up, you know, blowing the ship to prevent anything from happening.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like a really interesting episode. So like, you know, it's like when you compare the two, it's like really, really, really well done. And I really enjoyed. I even enjoyed it more after rewatching the Star Trek episode, because you can see the parallels of what was taking place.
Yeah.
And the decisions that Pike makes compared to what the decisions that Kirk is making.
Right.
You know, and so it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I would highly recommend, if you watched the season finale of Star Trek Discovery, go back and watch the original series episode Balance of Terror, because they bookend each other very, very well.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, even by itself, it's a phenomenal episode. Like, without that knowledge, like, watching that episode was, like, just really fascinating. Like, the decisions you make are going to have these long-lasting effects.
Right.
So you have to meet this destiny that you're desperately trying to avoid.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it was a good episode.
Yeah. Fantastic. I was bummed the season's over.
Yeah, I know.
I honestly was. I
hope they don't cancel it.
No, I know they just completed filming season 2.
Because they canceled Picard.
Well,
from what I hear.
After a third season.
Oh, is there going to be a third?
There's going to be a third season. Because they announced that, but that after 3 seasons they're done, and I think that's mostly because Patrick Stewart's 82.
But anyway, this episode was phenomenal.
It was.
I liked Kirk too. I liked the guy that played Kirk.
And I'm not plugged into Star Trek Twitter.
Yeah.
Like I am with Star Wars Twitter. I'm much more plugged in with Star Wars Twitter than I am with Star Trek Twitter. But overall, the I guess the people love the show. Like, just like from what I'm reading.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what Star Trek Twitter is saying. I'm sure they're tearing it apart. But like the average person like you and I who's like, I like Star Trek, I'll watch it. Like, love this show.
Yeah.
And I think with good reason. I think this is the best. I hate to say because I love Discovery. But I think this is the best show that they've put out since they started doing these shows on Paramount Plus.
Do you think?
Yeah. I do. And I say that as somebody who, like, I love Discovery.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the third season, I think Discovery's been a very good show.
Yeah.
This first season, I mean, it's only 10 episodes, but not a single one of them was bad.
No.
If anything, the worst episode was the first episode.
Yeah.
Like, it was a show that got better every single week.
Yeah. It's written well.
Yeah. And while it doesn't have, like, an overarching storyline like Discovery does or like Picard does, actions still have ramifications.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll you know, the whole thing with Pike knowing his destiny, like everything that happens, like Dr. Mbaga losing his daughter,
right? Like
he did in the next episode. That was still clearly a raw emotion for him. You know, like everything like has like it's still connected. It's not like other shows, even like the original series or the Next Generation, where it felt like whatever happened in episode 1 had no effect on episode 10.
Right.
It was just completely random episodes.
Right.
You know, this at least, while it's not connected with an overarching storyline, there are still storylines that are connected.
Yeah. No, I get you.
You know.
Yeah. And the storylines are good.
Yeah.
You know, each character has this storyline.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is pretty fascinating.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me. Like I love all the characters. Like all the main players.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy.
Yeah, really good.
You know.
Yeah. And each one of them has had their spot in the sun, so to speak.
Except for the Navigator.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah. But apparently she said she gets her spotlight in season 2.
Yeah.
But still, like, I mean, like, everybody else, you're right, like, they've had that moment in the sun to shine.
Yeah. Which I like. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I
mean, and like, other shows, like, Next Generation did that. But, like, you'd be like, oh, this is a Data episode.
Right.
You know, oh, this is a Riker episode. Yeah.
Worf's dressed up like a cowboy in this episode.
Yeah. Oh, this is a holodeck episode. You know, there's shit like that. Like where with this, like every episode, like, you know, oh, this is this episode. Oh, this is her episode. Okay.
And I like how it tied in from the beginning and then it tied in at the end. I thought that was like just really good writing.
Yeah.
Like waking up, making her breakfast or whatever.
Yeah.
Cooking as he usually does.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he cooks.
Yeah.
I do. I think it's neat. I think it's just, I don't know, something to do, right? I mean, like,
yeah,
that's what he does.
That's what he does, yeah.
And then at the end of the episode, she comes back and gets
Una. Yeah.
Una. Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's not going to go well in the bedroom.
No.
And he was like, that's it. You're done.
Yeah.
No more of this.
Yeah. Yeah. No more D for you.
Yeah. No more leftover Alfredo for you.
Yeah.
Jerk. And he's done.
Yeah. Yeah. You ain't getting the beard either.
Yeah. I like how he almost broke that dude's arm off.
Oh, yeah. Like, that was a fuck around and find out moment.
Yeah, I mean, that was like a Spock move.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, damn, that's some Vader shit.
Yeah.
That was badass. I like how he lost his cool there.
Yeah.
But I also like to show that, like, he stands up for what he believes in.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, like, if it means breaking an arm or a wrist,
yeah,
you're going down. And that guy was like, ow! No, he didn't. But I mean, like, you know, that classic Indiana Jones guy falling off the cliff.
Yeah, the Willem scream. Ah!
Yeah. No, but, yeah, he took him down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, had him on his knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he loves her. I mean, you know, there's a love for her. I mean, it's platonic, but what I'm saying is, like, he loves her. And it's cool to see that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, she's part of the inner circle. She's part of the three. Like, with the original Trek, it was Spock, McCoy, and Kirk.
Yeah.
With him, it's him, Una, and Spock.
Yeah.
You know, that's the three.
Yeah.
And
that was a touching moment with Spock.
Yeah.
That was pretty brutal.
That was, yeah.
And when he called him Chris. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Chris.
Yeah.
That was badass.
Yeah.
The human side came out.
Yeah.
Forced, but still.
Right. But like it was like you're right, it was like interesting to like because you kind of forget that Spock was on the Spock was in the Enterprise for like 30 fucking years.
I know.
You know, like the fucker never left.
Once a science officer, always a science officer.
Yeah. You know. And
Time to make the donuts.
That motherfucker like had his like shit like just like stacked there. Like, you know.
They named science after me.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you forget that. Like, I mean, the guy's been on the Enterprise for like 30 fucking years.
Yeah, he knows that shit more than anybody.
Yeah, and so, but you didn't think that he would have like, and you should because like if you go back to like the cage, you know, or the episode that used the cage for the flashbacks, like that clearly showed he had a love for Chris Pike.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for you to like say like, yeah, I'm hijacking this ship and I'm taking my friend to a planet where he can live a decent life.
Right.
With a chick who I think he could grow to love. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like that was Spock, like the most human thing Spock could do.
Yeah.
Is hijack the Enterprise and take it back to that planet so Chris could live his life out.
Yeah.
You know, my friend. And you don't think about that because, you know, it's drilled into your head Spock, McCoy, and Kirk.
Right.
You know, like even in like the J.J. Abrams movie, like Spock's like, what do you mean we're not friends?
Yeah.
What the fuck, man?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We gotta fix this. This shit ain't right.
Yeah.
You know? So like it's drilled in your head that that's who Spock's like best friend is Kirk.
Right.
You know, but it might have been Chris Pike.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think he was very close to Jim, but
yeah. I mean, you know.
But I mean,
Kirk did hijack the Enterprise to save Spock.
Right.
You know, so.
But what I'm saying is, like, I think that he was also close with Pike.
Yeah, clearly. And, like, it's, like, interesting to see that relationship as compared to the relationship of Kirk and Spock.
Right. It's different.
It is. It's different, but they're both very, very close.
Right. I like the little Scotty reference, too. That was pretty
badass. Yeah. That was. Yeah.
Come on now. That was some good stuff.
I almost rolled a tear. Yeah. Like, I felt like I was like, oh, it's Scotty.
Yeah.
You know?
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Monumental.
Yeah.
Perfect Scotty. I mean, it was perfect accent.
Yeah.
It was great. My mom would have liked that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just, it's just such a fucking great show.
I know.
I mean, truly. Like, I can't get over how well done every episode is.
I'm disappointed it's only a 10-episode season.
Yeah, and it just goes, it ties in. Like, every episode begins well and it ends well.
Yeah.
And there's great filler. If that makes any sense.
Like, there's nothing, there hasn't been a single episode, even the episode I thought was going to be, like, typical, like, oh, here we go, shenanigans with, like, the fairy tale book.
Yeah.
That was a really well done episode.
Yeah, it was. Well, it made sense.
Yeah. Like, once you figured it out, like, it made sense, but, like, and while, like, the stuff, maybe, like, in the middle, I was like, oh, come on, guys, come on. Like, at the end, I was in tears.
Yeah.
You know? Like, it was like, oh, shit. And then when she comes back, and she's like, yeah, it's been, like, 20 years for me, Dad. I'm having so much fun.
Yeah.
He's like, it's been 30 fucking seconds for me.
Right.
You know? So, like, that ending was phenomenal.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, overall, I mean, it's a fantastic show.
Yeah. He just nails them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
And I like that. I see where Kirk is coming from, but he's also young. But, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Not young, I shouldn't say that, because Kirk's always like that, but I don't know. He's more hot-headed, probably in his youth, than he was in his, 80s.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With every hairpiece that was put on that man,
yeah.
He toned it down just a bit. Right.
Until generations.
Cooking that fucking ostrich egg.
Oh.
Malcolm McDowell. Anyway.
Yeah.
But I am drawn more to, I don't know why, but I'm drawn more to Pike than I am to Kirk.
Yeah.
Except for Chris Pine's Kirk. I like that Kirk.
I like that Kirk too. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Shatner's Kirk.
I like Shatner's. I'm not gonna knock Shatner's Kirk.
Right.
But I do like Chris Pine's Kirk.
I do. I really do. Like, I mean, we've talked about it. Like, I understand how he's not a bigger actor. Like, how he doesn't get bigger roles and stuff like that. And there's a movie on Amazon I gotta watch that he's in. It's a spy movie. It looks very, very good. Mm-hmm. But like, you're right. Like, his Kirk is like so fucking good.
I mean, the epitome of that Kirk was that bar fight scene in the first movie.
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
That's Jim Kirk, raw.
Yeah.
You know? And
oh, yeah.
I want to see more of this guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly,
like, yeah. Yeah, it was just so good. I loved in the other movie where they flipped the roles. Where Kirk went to...
Yeah.
Oh.
Kirk saved the ship.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Oh, that was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so well done. Anyway, enough about Star Trek, but this is just a great show.
You know what else I like in those movies? I like John Cho's Sulu.
Yeah.
I like his version of Sulu a lot. Like, when he sits in the command chair and he's like, he gives that speech about how he's got torpedoes aimed and he will fire. And McCoy's like, remind me never to play poker with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Yes. It was good.
Yeah.
I like what's his name is McCoy.
Oh, yeah.
They just had a great lineup of people.
Yeah.
They did. I mean, that lineup of cast was just
Zachary Quinto.
Damn near perfect.
Yeah.
But this guy playing Spock now, I like him.
I like him a lot, too.
Yeah. He's playing it well.
Yeah.
It's kind of more on the traditional level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't think Quinto's Spock was traditional. I think it was to a certain extent. But I loved how in this new episode, too, where I like how they explored the fact that they hadn't even seen the Romulans in 100 years.
Right. Well, I mean, goes back to the original episode, Balance of Terror.
Yeah. It was like, they don't even know what they look like.
Right.
When Spock's eye went up, he was like,
Yeah.
And I've been telling people that for years. I was like, well, they're, And they were like, nah. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one. I mean, I know some Star Trek facts.
Yeah.
From Mom. You know what I mean? But I love when that eye went up. I was like, that's badass. There's so many nods, but they're so small.
Yeah.
And if you really pay attention, you'll catch them.
Right. Well, I mean, in Balance of Terror, they do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like, again, like almost shot for shot, where, like, okay, we can see what the Romulans look like, and you see them, and the camera kind of like goes to Spock, and he does that eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
Commercial. And it goes to commercial. Yeah. But like it's still like it's that moment of like Spock's like, oh shit, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Like fuck.
I don't know, dude. Anyway, good things all around. I mean, we got Una to deal with. We have Spock's brother out there somewhere causing havoc.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We have this arc of
the Gorn.
Oh, the Gorn out there. Yeah, there's some good stuff going on with this show.
Yeah.
I would be happy if this show was on for 10 years.
Yeah. You and me both.
10 years of joy.
Yeah.
If it was, if every season was like this, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I am completely. I just think it's such good. I mean, it's just good science fiction. It's good TV.
Yeah.
And it's good to be back in space, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Speaking of which, I saw you got up to episode 10 of For All Mankind.
Nah, I keep falling asleep.
Do you?
Yeah. So I'm on season 2, like episode 5 or 6.
Okay.
So I'm making my way through.
Yeah.
But I'm binging it so hard that I'm knocking myself out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I get that. I get it.
Because I wait till everybody goes to bed and I watch an episode, and it's like all of a sudden it's 3:30 in the morning and I'm like, okay, I'll start the next episode.
Yeah.
And I'm out. But so far, it's fantastic. It is. The whole space stuff and rescue crap, I'm all into that, dude.
Yeah.
I thought that was like some of the best shit that I saw.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially when he was out there with that module or whatever. It was like he had the perfect throw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Over the other capsule.
I was like, oh, fuck, he missed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the show brings about, like, being tense. You know what I mean? Like, you're tense. It makes you feel tense when they're in space.
Yeah.
It does. It truly does. And I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know? And so, if it brings out that kind of emotion,
yeah,
A+ for me. You know?
Yeah.
And, I like the sub-story of the girl that, homeless girl. All that stuff is really good. And, oh, man, when what's his name died, I was like, Jesus.
Deke.
When Deke died, that was heartbreaking.
It was. Yeah.
It was heartbreaking.
It was, yeah.
Oh, my God. I was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. I also like that episode where he fucking put him in, the Russian came over and he fucking... Oh, yeah. Man. That was some good shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they both have the same mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It was good. Everything about this show is good. Not as good as Star Trek, but it's a good show.
It's a fantastic show that, like, playing that what if game.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, up to where you're at in the show, like, even the way it kind of manipulates history a little bit.
Yeah.
And it manipulates, like Lennon didn't, John Lennon wasn't killed.
Yeah.
So, like, he's a figure. Like, he's talking about, like, peace and everything else. And, like, it's really... It's playing up the Cold War so hard.
Yeah.
Which, I mean... I can't... Like, having lived through the Cold War, and, like... Younger generations don't understand this.
Yeah.
Like, and I get, like, terrorism... Especially, like, something happening on a domestic level... is is something that you would be afraid of. But like, it was drilled into my head that at any minute the Russians could just fire their nukes. Like, nuclear oblivion was like right there. It could happen at any time.
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, we're going to have a drill today where we have to go out and stand in the hallway because that's the safest place in case of a nuclear attack. You know, it was shit like that. You know, like that. And like, you're like, just stand still. We're just, you know, you're like, what the fuck? You know, like, and there were movies about like, you know, the what was that one? The one where it was about like the aftermath of a nuclear attack. I can't remember what the name of it was. Day One or something like that.
No. You mean when we were young?
Yeah.
No, it was keep going. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I know it.
Yeah.
I've watched it.
Yeah. So did I.
Day something.
Yeah.
I'll tell you in a second.
But it like fucked with my head. You know, like I was like, you know, oh shit, we could die.
Right.
You know, and you know, of course, it was like people were like, well, obviously Pittsburgh's a prime target because of the steel industry.
Right.
They would want to cripple that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, you know, at ground zero. We need to move somewhere else. You know, I mean, it was like it was shit like that like as a kid kind of fucked with me a little bit.
All right.
So,
right.
So like it was like them playing up the Cold War like they do, especially with the space race, is interesting to me because it gives me almost like bad flashbacks.
Really?
Yeah, like a little bit. I'm like, you know, oh fuck, what would I be thinking if I was a little kid during all of this? Like, you know, it's 1984. I would have been like, you know, 12.
Right.
You know, fuck, I've been fucked up. You know, so like I've enjoyed it. Like I think it's a really, really, really good show.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, extraordinarily well done. I can't wait to see how season 3 ends. Because every episode of season 3 has been fantastic.
Really?
Yeah.
My phone's like downloading. Wait, here we go. Hold on. I'll tell you 1 second.
Okay.
Because I used to watch it all the time.
Oh.
All filmography.
Yeah, because it was like that scene where like the woman gave birth and was like chewing the umbilical cord off the baby and stuff. Like I was like, oh fuck.
Hold on. My phone's downloading them. Just look up Jason Robards. Because he was the one that was in it. If we're thinking of the same movie.
Okay. Barnes. Nuclear movie. The Day After.
The Day After, yeah.
Yeah.
He was a doctor, I think.
Yeah.
That was a HBO special, boy. That was always on HBO.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think they played like I remember watching it like on like regular TV. Like they did like a one time. I think it was like on all the channels. Like it was like this is like a movie every American must see
Yeah.
type of deal. And like afterwards, I'm like, what the fuck, mommy? Are we gonna die?
What's funny, you know, there was 3 movies that were always on HBO, and they all had Jason Robards in it. Something Wicked, This Way Comes, Max Dugan Returns, and this movie.
Yeah.
Were always on HBO.
Yeah, they were
All the time.
all the time. Yeah.
They must. They must have been paying Jason Robards. I don't. He was in everything. And Dream a Little Dream. They played Dream a Little Dream all the time too on HBO. That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't even think of a movie that was consecutively with the same actor like that constantly on rotation on HBO.
Dabney Coleman movies seem to be on HBO a lot too. Like 9 to 5 was constantly on HBO.
Yeah.
The one, what was the name of the fucking movie? The kid. He was like the kid's imaginary spy friend.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's gonna drive me nuts because I watched that movie like 1,000.
Superman was on a lot though.
Superman was also on a lot. Yes. Dabney War Games was also another one.
The toy. was on a lot.
Yeah.
So was The Deer Hunter.
I gotta find this fucking movie.
9 to 5 was on a lot.
9 to 5 was on a lot, yeah. He was also in The Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh, yeah.
Cloak and Dagger, that was the
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dabney Coleman, one of those underappreciated, but the guy was in like fucking everything. Like, couldn't say no to a role actor.
Right.
Very good actor, though.
Yeah, there's only one real actor that I hated back then. And I still can't stand him. And he's dead now. But, my God. He played in So I Married an Axe Murderer. He drove Mike Myers to the fucking hotel. Oh, my God. He was in Clifford.
Wow.
Oh, my God. You know Clifford.
Oh, Charles Grodin.
Oh. Can't fucking stand him.
Really?
Oh. I can't even... I can't.
Wow.
Yeah. Can't.
Even in The Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah. Can't.
Wow. He's like the epitome of the 80s to me.
I
like,
know. I can't.
Like, I mean...
I just can't stand him.
Yeah. Like, that dude was like in every fucking thing.
I know. He's just so weird. He plays the same character in every fucking movie.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
He bothers me. There's just certain actors that do that. Like, who's that other actress? There's an actress I can't stand either.
Yeah.
She played Mother in The Grinch with Jim Carrey.
Oh, I'd have to look that up.
I don't know her name. She drives me crazy. Do you? Not Rita Wilson. Is it Rita Wilson? No. It's not Rita Wilson.
Rita Wilson hasn't done enough.
No, it's not Rita Wilson. I just can't think of the woman's name. But she was in everything. And she just drives me up a wall. Mary Steinberg used to do the same thing. Oh, there's one. Ted Danson. I can't stand anything Ted Danson's in.
Really?
Wow. I like Cheers. That's it. 3 Men and a Baby. That was good. Let me see her face. I'll tell you who she is right away.
Christine Baranski?
Yes.
Okay.
Can't stand her. I know. I don't know what it is.
She doesn't bother me, but like I get where you're coming from though with her. Because there are some things that like I've seen her in where I'm like, yeah, I don't care for you at all.
Yeah. She just gives me that vibe.
Yeah.
And Mary Steinberg used to be that way, but I think it was just like Back to the Future was such a letdown for me that I just hated her for it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get that.
Huh?
Yeah.
Because she was good in Michael.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, she's done a lot of good stuff.
She has done good Parenthood.
Yeah.
I mean, she's done some good things.
Yeah.
But I think it was just that hatred that it was just so awful in Back to the Future that I just could not forgive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like that was like, you know, you're bridge too far.
Yeah, I mean, like...
And I'm holding it against you.
You know, out of a series, how can you ruin it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get trying to pump it out and everything, you know?
Right.
But you just... I mean, don't get me wrong. The first one was so fucking good. You know? How do you live up to that? But at the same point, you got to come close. And those other two movies just didn't come close. They just didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, cause she's done a lot of good. I mean, she was in Step Brothers.
Oh, yeah. I know. She's done a lot of shit, dude.
She has, yeah.
A lot. She's married to Ted Danson, too, I think.
Or she was. Because, I mean, you know, he was fucking Whoopi Goldberg for a minute there.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I mean, she's still very active.
Oh, yeah. I know. She doesn't bother me as bad as she used to be.
No. I mean, she was an elf.
Yeah, she was great and all.
She was an I Am Sam.
You know who's funny that comes up every once in a while in a movie that you're like, what the fuck? Is the girl from Airplane.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, she just like
pops up.
Pop in.
Yeah.
And I'm like, get out of town. I just want to scream at her, where's your trombone, lady?
Yeah. I forgot she was in Powder. She was also in Clifford. There you go.
I know she was in Clifford. She played Charles Grodin's love interest.
Yeah. So there you go. There you go. That's Clifford, clearly one of your all-time least favorite movies.
Favorite movies.
A movie you must absolutely hate.
I don't hate it that bad. I guess I do. But I like Martin Short, so it kind of makes up for some things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
When he's trying to get on that train singing San Francisco, I'm like, that's some funny ass shit.
Yeah.
But also, it's too much Short for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get it's like, you know, it's kind of like there's such a thing as too much Mike Myers.
Right.
You know, same thing here. There's a little too much Martin Short.
I tell you what, though, that's Steve Martin Short.
Oh, I've heard nothing good things
and
about
what's her
that.
name?
Yeah.
That is a really good show.
Yeah.
I have to say.
Yeah.
I have watched that, and it's really good. Like, they just tone him down enough.
Right.
Like, he comes in with his one-liners as usual, but it's not like Ed Grimley the whole episode.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, he's...
Yeah.
It's really good.
It's inner space Martin Short.
Yes. Exactly. Yes.
You know, first off...
Well, less. Actually, less than that.
A little less than that?
Yeah. I mean, he comes with his one-liners.
Yeah.
But it's not that. You know what I mean? It's not...
Yeah.
I personally, I think Inner Space is probably one of his best performances.
Oh, yeah.
In a movie.
Yeah.
That did well.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, that and The Three Amigos are like the only two, like Martin Short vehicles.
I can't even believe they got the three of them together like that.
I know.
Steve Martin and Martin Short, I get.
Yeah.
But having Chevy there was like...
Oh.
That must have fucking really irked fucking Steve Martin. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, but this movie's so fucking funny.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying
Yeah.
I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
It must have really irked them.
I mean,
I don't know if they were friends back then.
I don't know. I mean, because, all you hear is, like how horrible Chevy Chase is to work with.
Yeah, no.
But, at the time, he was he was still, one of the biggest comedy stars in Hollywood.
Right.
You know, when that movie came on. He was still at the top of the game, so I could see where, you'd want to work with them, but, at the end of it was, where Martin and Short, fuck that guy. You know?
Especially Martin Short.
Yeah.
And Martin Short was young.
Yeah.
Man. I know. Fuck that guy.
Jefe,
I mean...
would you say I had a plethora of gifts? Yes, El Guapo. Jefe, do you know what I mean when I say plethora?
I think the only thing that Chevy Chase was really good in was fucking the vacation movies.
Fletch.
Yeah, Fletch. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
He was good in Fletch. But that one... But most of his movies were garbage. Like Nothing But Trouble.
Oh. It's a horrible fucking movie.
Isn't it?
And I will watch that at the drop of a hat too, because it's so fucking bad.
Yeah.
But it's so bad in a way that it's like looking at a train wreck.
It's so bad.
It is.
But it's it hits right on the mark for how weird Chevy Chase is.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he ever came back from that movie. He just acted like that for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Yeah. No, you're right. I mean, and it's like one of those just oddball things. Like, I mean, it's like this oddball movie that like nobody. I mean, it had the fucking Digital Underground in it. Yeah. They performed. You know.
What else was Chevy in that was just so weird?
I mean, there was Cops and Robertsons.
What was the one with the midget? Is that Fletch?
No.
Where the midget goes down a fucking gigantic hill on a fucking garbage can.
I think that was Funny Farm.
No, not Funny Farm.
Not Funny Farm?
Way before Funny Farm.
I don't know. I don't know.
Billy Barty was the midget.
Yeah.
I still remember.
Yeah, neither do I. I know it wasn't Fletch.
And the Chevy Chase movies were just so... Goldie Hawn was in it. It was Chevy Chase and Goldie Hawn. I'm telling you.
I'm not doubting
it. Was Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, and they were running from somebody.
Was that Modern Problems?
No. Modern Problems is the one you were thinking of.
Right.
Modern Problems is when the sewage spill leaked into his car.
And he gets his super
and he gets all fucking
and it's got
weird.
Charles Grodin in it.
Oh, God, yes. Yes. And they stay at the beach house, and he's all fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Nell Carter's in it. I'm serious. Nell Carter was in that movie.
I'm not doubting this. I mean, I'm not like doubting it. It's like what a cast of characters: Chevy Chase, Nell Carter, Goldie Hawn.
No, Goldie Hawn's not in Modern Problems.
Okay.
Goldie Hawn's in this movie with him.
Okay.
He's like a detective or something.
Nell Carter, unbelievable.
I swear it's Goldie Hawn.
Okay, so
You on Chevy Chase?
Yeah.
We're talking like 81. 82.
Is it Under the Rainbow?
Maybe it was Under the Rainbow. Let me see.
Let me look. I didn't have Goldie Hawn. It had Carrie Fisher in it.
I don't remember Carrie Fisher. Maybe it was Under the Rainbow. I swear he was a cop in this movie. Maybe he never appeared with Goldie Hawn in the movie. I swear she was in that movie.
Well, okay. Modern Problems had Nell Carter in it, yeah.
Yeah.
Seems Like Old Times.
Was that it?
That's got Goldie Hawn, Charles Grodin.
And Chevy Chase.
Chevy Chase. Robert Goulet.
Nice. Chevy Chase was like her ex-husband. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, wrongly accused of a bank robbery, a writer seeks to help his ex-wife, who is now married to the soon-to-be Attorney General of California.
Right.
Yeah.
I told you.
Yeah. Which sounds like a classic Chevy Chase romantic comedy, written by Neil Simon.
It was a good movie.
Yeah. There's a guy. Now I understand. I'm pretty sure he's dead.
Neil Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been dead.
But like, you don't hear anybody talk about like Neil Simon anymore. No, like I mean, dude wrote a ton of stuff, many plays, a lot of which got made into movies, TV shows. But nobody talks about Neil Simon anymore.
No, he's gone.
Yeah. I guess. I mean, it's just that odd thing of like.
I mean, I know he did The Odd Couple.
Yeah. I mean, I know they did a remake of that a couple years ago, so I guess like he's still around. Like
I can still do the theme song.
Oh yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like that's how you know you're old.
Yeah. Like it's just an odd thing of like.
I was whistling Sanford and Son at work the other day, and nobody had any idea what I was talking about except the 50-year-old nurse that I work with.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, Neil Simon's name was a name that I grew up with. Like, everything was like, oh, this is written by Neil Simon. This is a play by Neil Simon. This was this by Neil Simon.
It was either Neil Simon or Woody Allen.
Yeah. Like, so there was a lot of, like, growing up in, like, the 80s and into the 90s even, like, you heard his name a lot. And now it's, like, this weird thing where, like, I was thinking about it, I'm like, when was the last time I heard anything about Neil Simon?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So.
And I never watched any Woody Allen shit. I didn't. I had no interest.
I watched Annie Hall. Just because it was like, oh, this is one of the best movies ever made. Mm. And it was like one of those things where, like, at the end of it, I was like, I get it, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I get why it's considered one of the greatest movies of all time, but, like, it's like a Godfather. It's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, Woody Allen movies always, for the most part, always epitomize you had to be from New York to get it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like Woody Allen was writing movies for New York.
Yeah.
But they got shown nationally, and people acted like, oh, yeah, that's so... I can... Like, no, you can't. Like, you know...
Right. You know what movie I used to love that was on HBO all the time, too? Was... it was called The Four Seasons.
Okay.
It had Alan Alda in it.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
Vaguely, yeah.
I used to love that show. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Alan Alda was always big. I liked Alan Alda. I mean, of course, because I watched MASH constantly.
Right.
But I mean, like,
yeah.
Even the few movies he did do, and when he appeared in, were good.
Yeah.
Sweet Liberty was a great film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was. It was a good film.
Yeah.
But he was in that too. I don't know. He was a good actor.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah, he was. I mean, I'm not going to deny his acting chops at all.
I think he ruined MASH, but I think he was a good actor.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Wormhole.
Yeah, really. All right, so let's get out of this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
we've dug ourselves into.
Oh yeah.
I want to address Thad wrote in, as he does every week, but this week he actually has something to contribute to the program.
Okay.
First off, he's extraordinarily disappointed. He seems to be aiming most of his hatred at you for some reason.
Okay.
But he's disappointed that we don't like fireworks.
Well, I can rephrase that. I like fireworks, just I like watching fireworks.
How un-American can you be? Well, I'll tell you how American I can be. Like, I'm just tired of it. Like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I don't want to celebrate the 7th of July.
Yeah.
You know.
Or every other 4-day weekend people have.
Yeah.
3-day weekend.
He does state here, Sean, you need to call Ian out about his visit to Idlewild. Fact check Ian. He said a souvenir cup was $35, and yes, that is correct. What he neglected to tell you is that it is for a whole season of free refills.
Who the fuck goes back to Idlewild for more than once?
Well, apparently...
Who goes there more than one time?
I agree. I did know. Tim replied, I did notice that as well. 35 gets the cup that refills all season. You can take it to Kennywood and Sandcastle as well.
I didn't know that.
Okay. But still, I will say this much. One, I agree with you. Who the fuck goes back to Idlewild? Like, who buys a season pass to Idlewild? And two, like, and maybe this is like my problem. Like, who goes to Kennywood more than once a year?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, and I know, like, Thad will say, well, I do. Well, okay, that's great. But, like, I guess it's the way I grew up. Like, even though, like, Kennywood was, like, 15 minutes from my house, it might as well have been 1,000 miles away. Because I was going once a year.
Yeah.
Maybe twice if I got lucky. So, like, spending... And I still feel that way. Like, I feel like Kennywood is not someplace you go multiple times a year.
Right.
I do. Like, I don't know why that is. Like, as an adult, I'm still, like, locked into that, like, Kennywood is someplace special you only get to see once or twice a year.
Yeah, every once in a while, we would go twice a year. One would be the school picnic that we got tickets for.
I didn't even go to the school picnic.
And then we go with Graham and Pap.
Yeah. I went on Graham and Pap Day.
Yeah.
Like, my parents wouldn't shuffle out the money for the school picnic. Yeah. Like, they were like, yeah, you're gonna go in a month. You're gonna go with your grandparents. So, like, that would be a day, like, like, you're off school.
Yeah.
And there's nobody to play with. There was nobody home.
Right.
You know, the neighborhood was empty. You know? So you're, like, stuck, like, playing with your Star Wars figures in the dirt by yourself. Like, it was, like, the most pathetic day of the year for me. Because, like, nobody was around.
Right.
And, like, the next day, everybody would be like, oh, Kennywood was fucking awesome. And I go, oh, you going with you? I'm like, oh, yeah. You know, so, like, that was us. Like, you know, like, it was, like, one day of the year, like, I had to be nice to Tracy. I'm like, you know, okay, I'll play with you. Because you've got nobody to play with either. You know. So, yeah, like, yeah, we didn't even go to, like, school picnic. We just went on Graham and Pap Day.
Huh. I know.
Yeah. Which, like, so, like, that's, like, where that's ingrained in my head of, like, you don't go to Kennywood multiple times a year. You go once, maybe twice, if, you know, you're lucky.
Right.
You know. And the other side of that is I haven't been to Kennywood in, I couldn't even tell you how long. When you took me.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was you, Jared,
Yeah.
Jamie, like, we went with the girls, you know.
And they were little.
Yeah, they were. I mean, we're talking probably 15 years since I've been to Kennywood.
Yeah. Long time.
Yeah. And that was a day I'm like, I am sweating my balls off.
It was hot.
I am not coming back. You know.
Well, I didn't know that the Souvenir Cup was good for Kennywood as well.
Yeah. Apparently.
I would never go to Sandcastle anyway.
Right.
But still $34.
Right. I agree. Like, I will still tell you I think it's an outrageous price. Because to me, like, again, it's a one-use cup.
Yeah.
Like, I've used it one day.
Yeah.
You know. So, like, that's just me.
Unless you got 34 sodas in that day, it does not pay for itself.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But I get his point where, like, I guess if you are somebody who goes 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a year,
sure,
then maybe you're getting your money's worth out of it.
Yeah.
I would not.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Anyway. And Lisa's mom's not going to go.
Yeah. But the other side of that too, like, it to me is like how much money are you pulling in where you're like going to I don't know. That's the poor boy in me where I'm just like, how much fucking money are you making where you're going to Kennywood multiple times a year?
Oh, it's just people who go to Disney 4 times a year.
I can't figure that shit out.
That's like I mean, that's at least $30,000.
You know, our good friends
At least.
Our good friends at, you know, History of Bad Ideas podcast, Jason, his brother Doug, goes to Kennywood like 4 times a year. Like, I can't figure out how the fuck. And I mean,
Disney.
Disney, yeah. He goes to Disney 4 times a year. Stays at Disney. Like, they're like staying in like a cheap motel outside of, somewhere in Orlando where, like, you could lose a liver.
Bum fights.
Wake up in a bathtub of ice without your liver.
Yeah.
No, like, he's staying like on park. He fully enclosed in the Disney capsule for like a week.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the? Like, why? First off, yeah, one, why? But 2, how?
But also, too, if you stay... Like, I know people that go, like, 5-6 times to Disney a year.
Yeah.
If you're going to Disney 5 or 6 times and you're investing all that money going to Disney, you should have fucking free reign wherever you want to go.
Right.
You should be in the VIP
It
rooms.
should be like fucking Vegas. Like,
yeah.
if you go to Vegas enough, you stay at the same hotel, like, they start comping you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, free room for 3 nights, shit like, that's what Disney should be. And they don't. They're taking all your money, but like, so is Vegas, but just in a completely different way.
Right.
They're enticing you to come back. Disney's just like, yeah, just come down and we'll suck up your money again.
Yeah. And there's no rewards.
No.
Here's a patch.
Yeah.
Here's a famous Disney patch.
Yeah.
Here's a picture with Goofy.
Here's a pin.
Yeah. I know. It blows my mind.
Right.
It does. It just blows my mind.
And that's as an adult, this guy's doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I don't even think he has, like, young kids any longer. I think his kids are all grown up.
Yeah.
Or and it's like, what are you as an adult going to Disney multiple times a year for?
Yeah.
Like, that just blows my mind. So, and like, you're dropping a minimum $10,000 a shot.
Yeah.
Like, with the way their prices are and everything.
Oh yeah, airfare.
Yeah. Like, I can't imagine going 1 time, let alone like 4 times a year.
Right.
Like, I gotta see the Spring Spectacular. What?
Spring Spectacular.
Yeah. So Superfan Thad wanted to give us those corrections and observations.
Right. Is that it?
Yeah, that was it. That was pertained. He also mentioned, like, he asked if we watched Joey Chestnut, and I did. I worked on the 4th of July, and so, like, I did not spend any time looking up the hot dog eating contest so I could watch Joey Chestnut, gobble down 63 hot dogs and choke out a protester.
Right.
I saw him choking out the protester because it was, like, all over the internet.
Right.
Like, Twitter had it everywhere that day. But outside of that, like, I can give 2 shits about the hot dog eating contest on the 4th of July. Like,
Right.
And besides, like I said, I worked that day. So,
right.
It's funny. I worked until 11. Like, I heard the fireworks display going off at Renzi while I'm on a call with somebody. Like, what is that? I'm like, yeah, it's fireworks.
Nice.
And you can't watch. Well, I wasn't planning to anyway, so no big deal.
Yeah, no big deal.
But, one other quick thing to cover.
Sure.
Before we call it a show. This fascinated me. So last week, giving me one more reason to not want to ever step foot on a cruise ship.
Okay.
A 60-person brawl covering 5 decks breaks out on a Carnival cruise ship, all because of an alleged threesome between passengers.
Wow.
So,
really?
Yes. A 60-person brawl broke up in a nightclub on board one of Carnival's cruise ships on June 28th, and it all goes back to jealousy. Allegedly, the fight erupted over jealousy relating to a threesome between some passengers, significant others on board the Carnival Magic cruise ship headed for New York City.
Nice.
Passengers, Teresa James told Fox News Digital that when the fight broke out near the Vernazzo Narrows Bridge, when significant others accused their partners of cheating in a threesome, James, a travel agent, had a front row seat to the melee from her room, where she watched as a fifth-floor nightclub devolved into chaos around 2 a.m. after significant others confronted their partners. Beer bottles were smashed, nearly all the ship's security guards were called to the scene, and the physical fighting spread from the 5th floor to the 1st floor.
Holy shit.
Security guards failed to break up the fight, and in the end they had to call the U.S. Coast Guard to put an end to the drama.
Holy hell.
Now, so this had to be, like, so 3 or 4 people get involved in an altercation, and it has to, like, just be, like, one of those, like, things that, like, just dominoes, where, like, somebody else gets hit by accident, they get pissed, now people are, like, it's just, like one of those, like comedic, like, cowboy fights you see.
Right.
Or like a biker bar fight where, like, one guy gets hit and then the entire place explodes. You know?
Yeah.
And, like, I cannot imagine, like I've been in a few bar fights in my life.
Okay.
You know? Never actually won in a bar.
Okay.
You know? The most notorious was the night I got my ass beat in Detroit.
All right.
But I cannot imagine, like, a 60-person brawl breaking out of nowhere.
That's crazy. On a cruise ship.
On a cruise ship.
Go over. You know what I mean? Like, I would be afraid someone just...
Yeah, go... Well, I mean, I guess the night... Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're pointing, like, you know, somebody get knocked overboard. But I guess, like, the nightclub was, like, in the center of the ship.
Okay.
And then, like, from there, it just kind of, like I just, like, picture, like, people, like, fighting in elevators.
Crazy.
You know, like, how did they go from the 5th floor to the 1st floor?
Right.
Like, you know, how the fuck does that happen? Like, and then, like, to the point where, like, you're like, okay, we gotta call the Coast Guard.
Yeah, I mean, because what do you do?
Yeah.
You have to. At that point.
Yeah.
I mean...
Oh, yeah.
If the ship is threatened...
Right.
You know what I mean?
Like, but, like, if like, things are so desperate, like, you're like, our security can't quell this, we have to call in the Coast Guard. That's a problem.
Oh, yeah. For sure it's a problem. I mean... You have to think about the safety of the other passengers that are just there.
Right. And can you imagine... Like, can you imagine, like, being somebody like, you're asleep.
Right.
You know, I got an early morning. You know, I got shit to do. I'm on a cruise ship. I want to...
Shuffleboard.
Yeah, whatever the fuck. And, like, you're awoken by, like, 5 people fighting in the hallway.
Right.
You know, I mean, like, on the phone at Carnival. Like,
Yeah, like you're at the Red Carpet Inn or something.
Yeah. Yeah, like... Like, I'm in a no-tell motel, you know, where, you know, you're paying by the hour and they don't need ID.
Right.
You know? It's one of those type places now all of a sudden. You know. Yeah. There's no ID needed. We're fine.
Yeah.
You know. We take cash only. You know. That's what this Carnival cruise is broken down into.
That's crazy. That's nuts.
It is. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Plus all the people being injured. I mean, their infirmary can't hold that many people.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, their infirmary is set up for, like, cut bumps and lumps and sunstroke and sunburn and COVID now. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what their infirmary's for.
Yeah. Like, if you have a serious medical condition, like, you know, Doc on the Love Boat ain't saving you.
Right. I don't know if they're going to, you know, I don't know if they could. I'm sure they put stitches in people, but what I'm saying is, like, it's a lot of people on that ship.
Yeah. Like, if you have a cardiac event, you're in trouble. You know.
Well, I think they have helipads for that.
I'm sure they do, but still, like, how long would it take for, like depending on where you're at, too. Like, I mean, if you're outside of it, you know, if you're in international waters, how long is it going to take, like, the U.S. Coast Guard to get to you?
Yeah, right.
You know, with a cardiac event, like, you know, time is muscle.
Right.
You know, so, like, there's a lot of problems there. Like, you know, I'm relying on, like, you know, Doc, who's, you know, before I showed up, was entertaining 2 bikini-clad ladies.
Right.
You know, to save my ass.
Yeah. I know, I hear you. That's crazy.
Yeah.
60 people.
Yeah.
Huh?
Like, I can kind of... Like, the biggest fight I was ever in involved 20 people.
Really?
Yeah, that was a Detroit fight.
20 people in that Detroit fight?
Yeah.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, most of them kicking my ass.
Really?
Yeah. That was... Let me regale you with the story. Have I ever told you the story of the Detroit fight?
Yeah.
So, I'm with my buddy Kevin. We're visiting his family in Detroit. So, this is why I'm in Detroit. It wasn't like a chosen summer vacation for me. He's like, I got family here. You want to spend the week in Detroit with me? I'm like, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. We'll drink. And we go to this bar with his buddy. And we are the toast of the bar. Like, we have women. We have booze. We are singing karaoke. Everybody loves us. I'm about to get laid. We're leaving the bar, and there's already a fracas taking place.
Okay.
And my buddy Kevin's just like, hey guys, let's all just get along. Well, it turns out the reason there was a fracas is it was 2 separate groups of people who wanted to kick our ass for taking their women. So now this brawl ensues. And I have this guy jump on my back. And he starts biting my neck. And so I grab his legs and I wrap them around me. I got them held tight. And I just ran backwards into a wall. Mm-hmm. And I could hear him, like, you know, exhale. Mm-hmm. And I grabbed him and I threw him down on the ground. And I mount him. And I start, like, right to his face. Uh-huh. And at the same time, I'm getting hit in the face.
Oh, wow.
And I'm I'm trying to figure out, because I'm really fucking drunk. Now I'm trying to figure out, well, where is he? He's not hitting me. I got some dude kicking me in the face while I'm hitting this dude below me.
Yeah.
So I grab that dude's legs, and I get him down, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Meanwhile, I see this guy come walking through holding, this was the 90s, he had one of those car clubs.
Okay.
Like for your steering wheel?
Yeah.
For the protector from auto theft, for those who don't know.
Yeah.
Big metal piece of metal comes through and whacks my buddy Kevin in the head with it.
Oh my god.
All of a sudden, a Jeep pulls up. This guy gets out of the Jeep like Van Damme. Like, he's in the driver's seat, steps over the girl in the passenger seat, ripping his shirt off, and just starts throwing karate kicks. Hand to God, this is what happened. And I'm just laying there thinking, I'm going to die in Detroit tonight.
Yeah, you probably would have.
And then it turns out this was another buddy of my friend Kevin who saw the fight, did a U-turn, and came back to save us.
Nice.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you hear the police sirens, and this guy's like, I've already got some problems with the law. I got to go. He speeds off. Everybody scrambles to get away. And my buddy Kevin's, he's in piss poor shape.
Yeah.
So ambulance comes, takes him away. And I'm like asking, like, what hospital are you taking him to? And they're telling me, and they're like, do you need assistance, sir? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And they're like, no, really, do you need assistance, sir? I'm like, no, I'm fine.
Yeah.
They're like, are you sure? like, yeah, I'm fucking fine. Where are you taking my buddy?
Yeah.
And they tell me the hospital name, and I gotta try to figure this out, and I have to call his sister, because I don't know where the fuck I'm going. So, she shows up, reads me the riot act, because we went out without her. And the reason we went out without her is because she was a killjoy who kept us from going to fun bars. Well, you know. Should have known better.
Yeah.
So, she looks at me and goes, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine. Why does everybody keep asking me this?" She's like, "Have you looked in the mirror?" I'm like, "No."
Yeah.
Like, "Maybe you should." So I go in the bathroom at the hospital. And my eyes are black and blue already.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I had 2 black eyes that were just swelling shut.
Really?
Yeah. Because I got kicked in the head so many times and didn't know it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, that's the abbreviated version of the night I got my ass beat in Detroit.
But you recovered.
I recovered, yeah. But...
Oh, were your parents pissed?
Well, I had to, I called, and I was like, I mean, I'm in my mid-20s at this point.
Right.
But, it was still one of those things where it's like, yeah, I got into a bar fight. I'll explain all when I get home, but I'm just going to warn you now. I don't look good.
Yeah.
And, the rest of the week, we still 3 more days in Detroit. And, one night, we went out to, this, nice restaurant with his parents and shit. Yeah, he's got, stitches in the side of his head, and I've got, 2 black eyes, and, we look like a fucking pair, don't we? He's like, yeah, but it was fun. No, it wasn't. It was fun right up until that point.
What'd your parents say?
It was one of those deals where it was my mother was like, well, I can't believe this, Sean. I've raised you better than this. I'm like, I didn't start it.
Right.
This isn't my fault.
Right.
If I started, I would have finished it.
Yeah.
My dad was just like, yeah, we're disappointed in you. Wink, wink.
Really?
Yeah, my boy got into a bar fight. 'Cause I'm sure the old man was in plenty when he was in the Navy and shit,
Yeah.
So it was one of those deals where I was like, okay, there you go.
That's my son.
That's my son. So yeah, I was like, fucking worst. Well, I say we wrap this bad boy up.
All right, son.
Well, remember there are a number of different ways you can reach out and touch us.
Hey.
You can send us an email like Thad does each and every week. And that email address is pittsburghnerd@yahoo.com. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd. We're very, very easy to find. And we're also on a number of podcasting networks. You can find us on the Tangent Bound Network, the Weeby Geeks Network, and the Pod Breed Network. Just give them a Google search. You can find all the other great podcasts they have to offer. And lastly, as always, I want to thank you, dear listener, for checking us out each and every week. We can't thank you enough for your support. And on that note, the dreamer has awakened.
Peace.